Good morning and welcome to Kramer's Corner with daily technical update. It is Tuesday the 24th of June. This video is educational purpose only. There's no recommendation or advice whatsoever. Today we'll start with Alphabet C shares or Google that has been sold off late last week and also yesterday, testing the 55 moving average and support around 164.25. Yesterday bouncing a little bit, RSI testing the 40 threshold, also bouncing there. And what we're going to see in a moment is that the pre-market, the US indices are pushing higher, so maybe I could also imagine that Google will do that today, but it is under pressure. It is below the 200 and 100 moving average, which is declining, so it could be under pressure for quite some time. And if it does close below yesterday's low, well, then there could be further downside potential, but I suspect we could see a little bit of a bounce in general. Tesla, on the other hand, yesterday saw a sharp bullish move, almost 8%, spiked a little bit higher above resistance here at 331.60 and closed well above that level, and could continue today towards the previous peak and resistance here around 367.70 due to news about the robot taxis. My market took that very well. RSI testing 60 threshold. If it closes above, then expect much higher levels on Tesla. Could move up to the 400 region. As mentioned, or alluded to, the Nasdaq 100 had a good day yesterday, up about 1%, especially lifted by Tesla, and didn't test the 21,475 support here. And we can also see pre-market pushed higher, actually took out the peak there, and testing these peaks over here, which I believe are all-time highs area, very close to, at least yesterday. Indeed they are. So maybe we will see a new all-time high on Nasdaq later today. Let's have a look at US 500 CFD future, testing the upper rising trend line there. Also currently trading above the that little peak up there. And if we're looking at the actual S&P 5 index yesterday, it bounced from this 5,963 support. So it could be set for maybe. Well, it will have its eyes set on the all-time high at 6,147. Will it get up there or not? Well, we can only see here the next few days, but also Dow Jones pushing higher. And if we are looking at Dow Jones pre-market, we can see also it's pushing higher, testing very close to this peak there, but it's farther away from its all-time highs. In Asia session, the Hang Seng also had a very good day, 2% higher, back above the pivot point, so to speak, here, 23,827, and currently testing or closing around the 786 retracement at 24,171, resuming uptrend. And I think we could see here in the next few days testing the previous peak and possibly pushing higher towards 25,000. As long as we stay above 23,185. Nikkei, on the other hand, yes, it has an okay day, but let's remove this one. It's a little bit obsolete now. Testing the previous peaks here. The uptrend is intact, and I think we will see it pushing higher to the next few days. Possibly up to 40,000 could be reached in that region at least, as long as we stay above the falling trend line there and the 38,000 support. In Europe, the EuroStoxx50 yesterday was unchanged, testing the 5,199 support here, but pre-market we can see it's also bouncing very strongly. Currently above the 100 moving average here on the future CFD EU50, and if it can stay above when the market also opens above that level, so we're up about 1.5%, and the truce between, or the ceasefire between Israel and Iran seems to be well received by the markets. So we could very well see a market bouncing higher. And if we just add let's see here, Fibonacci retracement, you can see let's probably have a move up to 61.8 or 5,355. Also DAX yesterday was a little bit lower, but it was still above the support here at 23,021. And also pre-market, we can see it bounced the CFD slash future has bounced to the 50% of this downtrend here, and we gapped higher. So maybe we will have a bullish day throughout the day. We are about 1.3, 1.4%, and I think we could test 24,000 fairly soon. On the FX side, well, euro dollar bounced from the minor support there at 114.45 back above the rising trend line that it tested yesterday when we were talking yesterday morning, and very close to be testing the peak here. So the uptrend is intact, and we could see a move to test and push up to and maybe above 117. So let's see what will it do if we add a little bit of Fibonacci projection to this little move here. Well, 117 is 138.2, but we also have higher levels, so just below 118 here. And on the short term, it's not unlikely as long as we stay above 114.40. The sterling dollar also bounced after dipping to the 55 moving average, and it closed well above the 134.15 support here, so still above that level. In this range bound area here, I think we could see a test of 136.20 resistance here fairly shortly. If it takes out these peaks here, well, then we are looking at a higher level. We can also do the same exercise here on the let's see, there we are, on this correction there. So 137.30, maybe around 138 could be seen here on the short term if it takes out the peaks. Euro sterling spiked above the 61.8 retracement just around 86, and then it drifted back, and the support here at 85.25 is key. If we're starting pushing below that, well, then we could see a move lower. And also here we could work with our Fibonacci levels just to give us some guidance and see, well, maybe down to the area around the 61.8, or the support here at 84.60, 84.50 could be seen if it takes out 85.25. Dollar yen, excuse me, dollar yen spiked higher, almost up to the resistance, and resistance here at 148.65, but it didn't get all the way up there before it collapsed back below the 100 moving average. And this morning it's opening lower and trading lower, back below 145.50, and could also test this falling trend line here, which is not really that relevant anymore, so let's just remove it, but could push below the cloud. RSI got rejected at 60 threshold, so I think we'll see downtrend resuming eventually after this this is a shooting star, massive shooting star. So that is a top and reversal pattern, and I think we'll see dollar yen pushing lower in the coming days. Euro yen spiked higher yesterday, and it actually reached the 200%. I removed it up, but reached 200% of this correction here, and now we are in for a corrective mood unless it takes out 169.72, the peak here. Well, then we are in for a move above 170. But for now, I think we'll slide back a little bit. However, RSI in a positive sentiment, there's no divergence. You can see that the peak here was higher than here, so there is potential higher for euro yen after a correction that could take it down to 167, but then I think we'll see it start moving higher. You can also see on the weekly that it is in a strong bullish trend. The Aussie yen, excuse me, Aussie yen, well, it's still key to take out, and let's just add that horizontal line there. So 94.85, adjust that a little bit there. If it takes out that, then we're looking at 95.75, and positive sentiment and 55 moving average coming around, pushing higher, indicating we're likely to see that sterling yen spike to the 138.2 retracement, 198.15. If it takes out that spike up yesterday, well, then we're looking at 199, 199.50, maybe 200. And we are in a bullish trend, positive sentiment. There is a little bit of divergence. You see this peak over here is higher than here. So we are a little bit in exhaustion mode, but for now, the trend is still bullish. Aussie dollar, well, spiked lower yesterday, almost down to the 100 moving average, below the 55 and below the 200, but spiked. But bounced strongly. 55 moving average is rising sharply, and we could now see a push higher here to test the 65.50 key resistance. Still positive sentiment on the RSI, and if we have a close above 65.50 and RSI back above 60 threshold, then I think we'll see a push up to 66.50, 67. Dollar Canada spiked high yesterday. A little bit above 50% of this downtrend here. Didn't get all the way up to the strong resistance around 138.35 and the 55 moving average before retracing. So it's a little bit of a shooting star there too, and I think we could see it sliding lower here in the coming days. If it takes out 136.30, well, the downtrend has resumed, and we are likely to see lower levels on dollar Canada. Sterling Canada. Well, Sterling Canada is currently trading around the 786 retracement at 186.10, spiking a little bit higher, and we could see it possibly shooting up to that resistance and peak there. But the key will be, will RSI close above 60 threshold or not? If it does close above, well, then we are likely to see higher levels above 188 and 189. But if it's being rejected, then it could slide back. But 55 moving average pushing higher and 100 pushing higher. So the underlying sentiment and trends are there for higher levels on Sterling Canada. On the Swiss franc, Euro Swiss still in this range here, 94.50 and 93. So not much to say really. Dollar Swiss, on the other hand, that spiked up a little bit to the 38.2 retracement at 82.17, and now retracing, could be testing these lows here around 80.40. And if they take them out, well, then we're looking at levels in the 79 region. But for now, keep an eye on these lows here around 80.55, 80.40. And the dollar index spiked also to the 38.2 retracement here at 98.98, and this morning is testing this little support there, and could be testing, and let me just zoom in a little bit, could be testing 97.23 here fairly. If it takes out, well, let's look at the weekly. We are in a negative sentiment. There is actually a little bit of divergence, quite a bit of divergence here on the RSI, so maybe in a stress trend, but we are in a bearish trend, and it is resumed, and we could see it pushing lower towards 97, possibly below 97. On gold. Gold is in a correction mode or collapsing mode. We had this bearish engulfing here. We talked about it yesterday. So we have this bearish engulfing here. We actually talked about that last week. That was top of reversal indication, but it needs to get back below the short-term rising trend line. Dipped below a couple of times the past few days, and now it's trading well below, and could be testing the 55 moving average and the support here at 3,293. If it takes out, well, then we have the key support here at around 3,245 and the rising trend line. That will be key to what RSI testing its falling trend line from the other side now, and it seems like we are in for more selling pressure on gold, but these levels will be key, so watch out for those. Silver still above 45 support. If it takes it out, well, then I think we're looking at the 34.80 key support there. Still bullish trend, a little bit of divergence here, so also top and reversal indication for now. Also, the platinum, it's in this a lot of volatility, stretched uptrend. It was, you can see the RSI values declining, market moved higher, 35.50, 35.51 almost. So I think we'll see it sliding back lower a little bit, but key support here 12.13. Copper, maybe it's starting to be on the move. If it takes out and closes above 450, 495, then I think we will see uptrend resuming with a push above 500 and 510, especially if RSI closes the day above 60 threshold. So that's something to keep an eye on. Also, if 55 moving starts to push around here and starts rising and then takes out and trades above the rising 100 moving average, that will give more tailwind for copper prices. Energy market, a lot of volatility. We have crude oils spiking and almost exploding higher, but now it's collapsing due to the ceasefire in the Middle East. And let's see how long that lasts, if it can last, and what's going on. And maybe the closing of Hormuz Strait is not really in effect. So we have a massive collapse. We talked about it yesterday that it could do it if it was taking out the 71 level and all will drop down below the 61.8 and to the support here at 64.80. I think we could drop further to test the cloud top and the 786 retracement at 63.73, and then I think we'll see a little bit of bounce, and then we could be range bound here for a while around the 65 and below the 69 level. The Brent crude oil also collapsed, massive collapse yesterday, continuing today. Below the 61.8 retracement, below that 68 there, could also dip to the 66.80 and the 66.50, which is 786 retracement, and the other part of the cloud here. And then I think we'll see it bounce, and then we could be range bound here around the 70 for a while. The European gas also collapsed massively after spiking high yesterday. There was potential up to 44, we talked about it, but it couldn't stay above the 200 moving average, testing the support here at 40, and the declining 100 moving average actually pushed lower. So this morning we are open much lower, and we could see it sliding lower to the previous lows here and the lower part of the cloud here. So, but let's see what will be key. Will it close below the cloud, and will RSI close below the 40 threshold or not? If not, it could bounce, and then we could be stuck in this range here around 37.50. But there's a lot of tension, so we could still see quite some volatility. Also the excuse me. Also the US nat gas that spiked to 138.2 projection at 412. So let's remove that for now. Now we're in a correction phase and setting back, and we could see, okay, maybe it could drop to the 61.8 retracement, most likely to around 350. My guess would have been 350 regardless of the 61.8 retracement there, but we have the 55 moving average also there. I think we'll be dragged down there, and then I think we will see a bounce on the US nat gas. US Treasury yields has taken out yesterday the support at 430, 431, but bounced back, and this morning opened below it, but currently above it. So we are still a little bit testing the 200 moving average. Still positive sentiment on the RSI for now, at least not below 40 threshold. So I think if it takes out the lows from yesterday at 429, then we are looking at 423, possibly 420, but for now it could bounce. Yes, we are still in this negative or bearish trend here, struggling a little bit, but let's see if it can hold here, and if it closes again once again above 432, then the bullish trend, not the bullish trend, we could see a further bounce above 440, but still key is the 451 resistance. On the 2-year, not really much to say, so it's just still sideways or sideways rates trading. On the EU10, just trading sideways around 250. It's still 240 down here and 260 on the other side. That is the range that needs to break out for direction. The UK 10 dropped sharply yesterday, but is still above 445 support. Then on Bitcoin has bounced strongly from the 100,000 level, and if it moves back above 106, 650, well, then I think we'll see uptrend resuming towards 112. We have Ethereum that dipped to the 2,170 17, sorry, and has bounced strongly, and we could see if we add a Fibonacci to that level. Okay, down there at 38.2, 2,406. We are just above that. I think we'll see it bouncing up to the 61.8 at 2,587 in the coming days. All right, that's all for today. Be careful out there. A lot of volatility, a lot of tension going on. So keep your stops tight and keep them. Be disciplined, and talk to you again tomorrow.